Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and history hunters. Sparkles. Today we're diving into one of the most iconic and misunderstood coins in American numismatic history, the Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary pocket change coin, but behind this small piece of metal lies a powerful story of American heritage, rare varieties, secret mint errors, and jaw-dropping values that have stunned collectors for decades. First introduced in 1938, the Jefferson Nickel honors Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and the author of the Declaration of Independence. On the reverse, we see Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, a design that remained almost unchanged for nearly 70 years, making this coin a true symbol of stability and tradition in U.S. coinage. But here's where things get exciting. Not all Jefferson nickels are common. Some were struck during wartime with silver content, others carry rare mint marks, and a few feature mysterious errors and die varieties that can turn a simple 5-cent coin into a collector's dream worth hundreds, thousands, or even more. The 1984 Jefferson Nickel is often dismissed as an ordinary 5-cent coin, yet among collectors and treasure hunters, it carries a reputation that feels almost unreal. Stories circulate of people unknowingly spending this coin, unaware that certain rare examples from the Philadelphia and Denver mints are whispered to possess extraordinary value. In these stories, the coin is not just currency, but a sleeping giant. Small in size, yet powerful enough to rewrite a person's destiny overnight, if recognized at the right moment. What makes the 1984 Jefferson Nickel so fascinating is the mystery surrounding its creation. While billions were struck for everyday use, collectors believe a tiny number escaped the minting process with unusual characteristics that separate them from common pocket change. These rare versions are said to carry subtle differences, an unexpected weight, an unusual surface glow, or striking details so sharp they seem carved by time itself. It is these anomalies that fuel the legend of unimaginable worth. The most talked about examples are those bearing the P and D mint marks, coins that look normal at first glance but reveal their power under closer inspection. Some collectors claim that experimental metal blends or transitional compositions were quietly tested during this period, creating coins that defy expectations. In collector folklore, these special nickels are sometimes described as silver ghosts, not officially silver, yet possessing appearance and resonance that set them apart from standard issues. The real magic of the 1984 Jefferson Nickel lies in condition and rarity combined. A perfectly preserved coin, untouched by circulation, with mirror-like fields and razor-sharp details, can ignite fierce competition among elite collectors. In these high-stakes circles, value is not measured in cents or dollars, but in the desire to own something that almost no one else has ever seen, let alone held. When rarity meets obsession, prices climb into territory that feels unreal. Many stories describe ordinary people discovering such a coin in old jars, inherited collections, or forgotten rolls from decades past. The shock comes not from the coin's face value, but from the realization that something so small could command sums usually reserved for luxury homes or historic artifacts. In these tales, the nickel becomes a symbol of fate, proof that fortune sometimes hides in the most unassuming places. What drives these values even higher is secrecy. Private collectors are said to trade rare Jefferson nickels quietly, away from public auctions, where prices are never officially recorded. This secrecy feeds speculation, allowing rumors of million-dollar sales to grow stronger with each retelling. Whether every story is true or not, the belief itself has transformed the 1984 nickel into one of the most talked-about modern U.S. coins. Another layer of intrigue comes from errors, misaligned strikes, double details, off-center impressions, or missing elements that should never have left the mint. When such errors appear on a 1984 Jefferson nickel in pristine condition, collectors treat them like fingerprints of history. These mistakes are seen not as flaws, but as proof that the coin escaped the system before perfection erased its uniqueness. For those who believe in its power, the 1984 Jefferson Nickel is more than metal. It is opportunity. The warning repeated in collector circles is simple. Never rush to sell, never trust the first offer, and never assume you know the true value of what you hold. A coin worth 5 cents to one person could represent generational wealth to another who understands its story. In the end, the legend of the 1984 Jefferson Nickel continues to grow because it speaks to a universal dream. The idea that life-changing fortune can arrive quietly, without warning, disguised as something ordinary. Whether viewed as myth, mystery, or rare reality, this coin has earned its place in modern numismatic storytelling as a symbol of hidden potential. So if you ever come across a 1984 Jefferson Nickel from the Philadelphia or Denver Mint, pause before you spend it. Look closely, research patiently, and respect the possibility that history sometimes whispers instead of shouting. In the world of collectors, one small coin has been enough to turn an ordinary moment into an unforgettable turning point. The 1982 Jefferson Nickel is one of those coins that quietly sits in drawers and jars while legends swirl around it like a storm. At first glance, it looks ordinary, almost forgettable, but collectors know that 1982 was a dramatic year in American coinage, a year of transition, experimentation, and quiet mint chaos. This is why stories grew around certain 1982 nickels from the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Stories so powerful that people began to whisper about hidden fortunes sleeping inside a simple 5-cent coin. It is not the shine that matters. It is the story, the timing, and the tiny details that can turn an everyday object into a life-changing discovery. What makes the 1982 Jefferson Nickel so fascinating is the moment in history it was born. America was under economic pressure, metal prices were unstable, and the U.S. Mint was walking a tightrope between tradition and survival. This tension created coins that were struck with unusual carelessness in some cases and extreme precision in others. Collectors believe that this unstable environment is exactly how rare varieties are born. A tiny difference in metal mix, a subtle strike anomaly, or a die that lasted a little too long can transform a common coin into a legendary one spoken about with awe. The Philadelphia Mint, known for producing coins without a mint mark, is often at the center of the most dramatic 1982 nickel stories. Some collectors claim that a small number of these nickels exhibit extraordinary characteristics that separate them from the billions produced. Strong strikes, mirror-like surfaces, or mysterious textures have fueled rumors that a few special pieces escape normal classification. These coins are not loud or flashy. They hide in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize their silent power. The Denver Mint versions, marked with a bold D, carry their own aura of mystery. Denver was known for high-speed production, and in 1982 that speed may have created nickels with unusual depth, alignment quirks, or striking strength that borders on perfection. Collectors often say that when you hold one of these rare Denver strikes, it feels different, heavier with history, as if it knows it survived something others did not. These are the coins that spark the most dramatic claims of unimaginable value. Much of the excitement also comes from confusion surrounding metal composition. While Jefferson nickels of this era are officially not silver, legends persist of experimental planchets or transitional errors that slip through unnoticed. Even the possibility of such a coin is enough to send collectors searching through rolls late into the night. The idea that a silver-like anomaly could exist in a year like 1982 feeds the dream that fortune does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers. What truly drives the mythos of the 1982 Jefferson Nickel is rarity multiplied by belief. In the collector world, value is not only about metal or age, it is about demand, mystery, and story. A coin rumored to be unique, misunderstood, or nearly impossible to find can ignite bidding wars fueled by emotion and obsession. This is how values, at least in legend, stretch into unimaginable territory, and why people warn others never to rush into selling such a coin without deep understanding. Many seasoned collectors say the real danger is ignorance. A rare 1982 nickel could easily be mistaken for spare change and spent without a second thought. That is why the warnings are always dramatic. Do not clean it, do not polish it, do not sell it quickly. These warnings are part fear, part wisdom, and part storytelling, but they reinforce one powerful idea. Knowledge is a true key to unlocking hidden wealth. The phrase, overnight fortune, appears often in stories about this coin, not because wealth truly appears instantly, but because discovery changes perspective instantly. The moment you realize something ordinary may be extraordinary, your world shifts. Whether the final value is modest or legendary, that moment of realization is intoxicating. It is the heartbeat of collecting, the reason people search, study, and dream. Ultimately, the 1982 Jefferson Nickel stands as a symbol rather than just a coin. It represents the hope that history still hides secrets, that the past left breadcrumbs for the patient and the curious. Its power lies not only in metal or mint marks, but in imagination and belief. That is why people say it can change your fortune overnight. Not always in money, but in wonder. So if you ever come across a 1982 Jefferson Nickel from Philadelphia or Denver, pause before you dismiss it. Look closely, feel its weight, study its details, and respect the story it carries. Whether legend or reality, coins like this remind us that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest dreams, and that even 5 cents can hold the promise of a lifetime if you know how to listen to its silent voice. The 1985 Jefferson Nickel is one of those coins that has inspired countless rumors, late-night whispers, and dramatic stories of overnight riches. But its true story is far more fascinating when told honestly. Struck during a time when the United States was modernizing its coinage and refining minting technology, the 1985 nickel represents an era of precision rather than precious metal wealth. It carries the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the back, symbols of American history that collectors recognize instantly. This coin does not shout its importance at first glance, which is exactly why myths have grown so large around it. One of the biggest misconceptions surrounding the 1985 Jefferson Nickel is the belief that it is a silver coin worth millions. In reality, by 1985, the United States had long stopped making nickels from silver. These coins are produced using a copper-nickel alloy, the same durable metal blend used for decades. The value of the coin, therefore, does not come from silver content or melt value, but from condition, rarity of errors, and collector demand. Understanding this difference is crucial, because real numismatic power lies in scarcity in history, not fantasy metal claims. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D, were both produced in very large numbers in 1985. Millions upon millions entered circulation, passing through hands, pockets, and cash registers across America. Because of this massive production, a normal 1985 P or 1985 D nickel found in everyday condition is common and carries little premium. However, collectors do not chase the ordinary, they chase the extraordinary, and that is where the excitement truly begins. The true high-value 1985 Jefferson nickels are not regular coins at all, but rare mint errors and exceptional condition pieces. Coins struck with dramatic mistakes, such as off-center designs, double strikes, missing layers, or unusually strong doubling, can become highly desirable. These errors are accidents frozen in metal, never meant to exist, and that is why collectors compete fiercely for them. A verified and dramatic error coin can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how unusual and visually striking it is. Condition is another powerful force that can transform an ordinary 1985 nickel into a prized collectible. Coins that were never circulated and preserved perfectly, showing sharp details, clean surfaces, and full original luster, can earn top grades from professional grading services. High-grade examples are scarce because most coins were used in daily commerce. When collectors see a nearly flawless specimen, they're seeing a survivor, a coin that escaped wear and time, and that survival adds real value. Stories claiming that a 1985 Jefferson nickel can instantly make someone a billionaire are not grounded in reality, but they reveal something important about human nature. People are drawn to the idea that hidden treasure might be sitting unnoticed in their pocket or drawer. While the values are not in the millions, the thrill of discovery is real. Finding a rare error or a top-grade coin can still be financially rewarding and emotionally exciting, especially for collectors who understand what they are looking at. What truly changes fortune overnight is not the coin alone, but knowledge. Collectors who study minting processes, learn to identify genuine errors, and understand grading standards are the ones who uncover valuable pieces. Without that knowledge, a rare coin can easily be spent or ignored. This is why experienced collectors always advise careful inspection, proper storage, and professional evaluation before selling or dismissing any unusual coin. The 1985 Jefferson Nickel also carries historical value beyond money. It reflects a period of American minting stability, when design consistency and mass production defined circulating coinage. Holding one is holding a small artifact of daily American life in the mid-1980s. That connection to history is what draws many collectors, even when the coin itself is not extraordinarily rare. If you believe you have an unusual 1985 nickel, the most important step is patience. Rushing to sell, trusting rumors, or believing exaggerated online claims can lead to disappointment. Proper authentication and grading are essential to determine whether a coin is truly special. Real value reveals itself through careful examination, not dramatic promises. In the end, the power of the 1985 Jefferson nickel is not that it secretly contains millions of dollars in silver, but that it teaches a powerful lesson about collecting. True fortune in coins comes from understanding rarity and authenticity. While it may not make you a billionaire overnight, the right 1985 Jefferson nickel can still be a remarkable find, a conversation piece, and a genuine reward for those who respect the truth behind the metal.